back once again. This is Amuna. I'm just gonna jump right into it because I got some stuff to do today. Man, so much going on. I can't even go in. But you don't know, I'm here to just chime in real quick. I hope everybody's doing well. I might have to run y'all into the store with me. The only thing is this particular store, the Wi-Fi be a little choppy. So no. So let me just say what I have to say right now, just in case. Look. What the box side is going on, man? It's madness. Mind games, gaslighting, psychosocial mental experiments, people being exposed. Yo, they say it's the 7th month. They say Ha Etanim is the month of judgment. My goodness. My. How's everybody doing so well today? I pray everybody's doing well. I'm watching the follow-up on the trial in the subconscious community. That has gone all to Hades and back. What's going on, Goldie Channel? It has gone to Hades and back. The situation, the update they had today on the polite Michael Nowak situation. I saw a video, providing that the video is right and exact, that the hearing was to reset the bond. And the bond between the 6 charges is up to $46,000. So that was interesting. He preemptively shared some information. He's displeased with the way in which the people are covering the story. I saw that video and I'm just like, what in the world? So he said he put aside $100,000 to litigate, to sue for defamation of character to the people who are commenting and sharing information on his video. I found that interesting. The back and forth of what's going on in the community, people arguing, people putting up people's arrest records, people moving the goalposts, changing the topic. This is one of the issues why oftentimes in the Black community and other communities as well, but especially one that doesn't have a set structure, one that doesn't have a judgment system, one that doesn't have the authority or the jurisdiction to adjudicate cases. The problem becomes that there's an imbalance in the way in which injustices are approached. There's a learned helplessness to it, right? And oftentimes people don't realize that we realize it, but I don't know how much we put it into words that really hurts the way in which we have historically dealt with wrongs. You had to go to the leading authority, the dominant society, to deal with wrongs, unless you're going to go to vigilante street justice, right? And usually to be able to adjudicate such cases, you have to have a system. You have to have a judiciary system. So like on the continent, you will see in some village cases that they have a hierarchy, for a lack of a better term. You may have council, you may have elders, you may have the inner cabinet, then you can have the Igwe or the king if you're in Nigeria or wherever, or the councilman, somebody and some people, a body of people who is able to hear cases and administer judgment. And not only just administer judgments, but hold the people to those judgments that they administered. So what many people in the melanated community have is just a lot of words. So they can say this is wrong, they can whatever, but if they go and they don't have a jail to put someone in, or the ability or the jurisdiction to issue judgment, and herein lies the problem. So in order to get this type of justice, you have to go to the dominant society to do so, and it creates this thing within us, we the people, right? So seeing the dominant society have to bring someone else to justice who is in your community, and all the people in the community can do is talk, with each day you lose moral standing, I guess, or moral ground or authority, or it just shows you the vulnerability that the community has. I found it interesting in that review, in that the court review, we saw that the prosecuting attorney wanted to issue a no contact. I found it interesting because oftentimes you hear no contact in the sense of relationships. Oh, the person is going no contact. So, no contact. And they went in and defined what it meant, that he couldn't send any messages, not through any third parties, do not contact the young girl that we know at this time is 14 years old, and that he's not able to and should not be trying to contact or intimidate her in any way. Because this is what also happens oftentimes when there's an injustice that's done. People are intimidating, people are flexing their muscles. The one that is more empowered feels as though that they can make you be quiet. And that transitions me into this other conversation where I don't follow any of these celebrities, but it's all over, in which Nicki Minaj makes a statement about the COVID vaccine, and someone she knows, an anecdotal statement, but someone she knows who knows someone that had an adverse effect. And the people come down on someone who's saying something, as opposed to going to look through or to verify whether or not that is true or not. It's akin to what we are seeing in the community. Someone who, in your mind, should not be speaking, doesn't have the authority to question, doesn't have the authority to push back, doesn't have the authority to say, hey, greetings, India B, what's going on? That they don't agree. In this case, it's Nicki Minaj. In the other case, it's the young girl. Whoever it is who's going against the official story, then you have all of this social pressure for whoever's within. You have all of this gaslighting, you have all of this pushback, you have all of this censoring against the person who is breaking rank, going against the narrative. And we seeing it. It's not just one thing. If we can find the formula, if we can find it in the pattern, and we can apply it in different places. And it's all about power. Somebody is invested in whatever the story is, whatever the storyline is. And the truth seeker, the one who has the stone to throw at the glass house, you have to get that person to be quiet, because really you're trying to control the minds of the populace. Really, you're trying to effect groupthink, right? And so you see the newscasters, I don't even call them news reporters anymore, the pundits. You see all of the people who are already in the bag, all of the people who are already on that network. The moment the words say go, everybody attacks. It's very, very dangerous what's going on in these streets, man. It's very, very, very dangerous what's going on in these streets, because it's psychological warfare, really. It's really psychological warfare right now that's going on. And it's going on right before our eyes. And if you keep repeating something over and over, or if you keep telling the same lie over and over, hopefully the thought is that the people who you're trying to convince, even though you may know it's a lie, the people start to buy into it. And so we see that with the case, with the Nicki Minaj case, that, she's saying, well, I don't think you should pressure somebody. If something is good for somebody, you don't need to pressure them to do it. So the fact that it's coming with all of this social pressure, the fact that it's coming with all of what it's coming with, is giving people pause or for concern. And the thought is that you're supposed to bypass all of that. You should not critically think. Once critical thinking is attacked, once the ability to, because we all have those reasoning skills, some more than others. But once you are blocked off, like, don't look over there. You know what I mean? Don't look out that window. I don't want you to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Once that is attacked, then it's something else that may be happening. And it happens in relationships as well. We're seeing it on all levels, in a social setting, in an intimate setting, in a broader setting. We're seeing it on all levels, where this whole sleight of hand type vibration is going on. Don't look over here. It usually means that somebody or somebodies are trying to slip something beyond that filter, so that you can now make choices that you wouldn't otherwise have made. Very, very crazy stuff going on. I'm like, what? And now people who was like, nah, you tripping, they're like, wait a minute now, what's going on here? What's the excessive force? It's kind of like when you see some of these interactions between officers and people, and they're like, what is all of this excessive force? Like, what is all of that? What is going on in your mind that's causing you to approach a situation already ready for things to pop off in that way? Something else may be going on. That's all I'm saying on that. Something else may be going on. So I wanted to talk about that. And then I saw another video. Oh man, I forgot to put the witchcraft part in here, but I guess I'll update it on another time. So I'm looking at what's going on in the Hebrew community amongst my brothers and sisters, Hebrew Israelite community. And the way in which things are unfolding in real time, many of this stuff, this is why like, I am not surprised. You remember that line from don't do if thou protest too much. Yeah, they don't want you to protest. They don't want you to push back. They don't want you to have any words. It's just do it. Years ago there was a shirt, and I thought it was very weird. There was a clothing line. I don't know who was behind it. I don't have time right now to find out. But it was, I don't know if you guys remember, it just said obey. And people were walking around with them shirts on and obey. I'm like, yo, hold on, pause, pump your brakes, pause. What are we doing here? Right? So it has already been massaging the mind throughout the last, I'll say, it's been a minute, but more overtly the last 20 years to condition the mind to not question certain things that just clearly don't make sense. It's the math is not math, and it's just not adding up. You know what I mean? And the water has been slowly being turned up as the pot is increasing. And now we're at the point like, wait a minute. And many people falsely believe that once you obey, then a lot of stuff will go away. But not necessarily. It's like looking at say you're in a relationship, because we like to get stuck up on man and woman relationships, right? So say you're in a relationship, or you're courting, or you talking, right? Next thing you know, you see a red flag. Poop. Your critical thinking is like, that flag look kind of red. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you see a crimson flag pop up. You're like, whoa, that's deep red. What's going on here? But, oh no, let me just keep going. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And you overlook the way the person talks to their mother, or the way they hate their baby father, or you overlook the way they just stole that stuff at Walmart. You keep overlooking all this stuff. The person don't got good hygiene, but I love them. So you want to get to that end. So because we want to get to that end right there, we overlook all of these things. It doesn't just get better because we overlooked it, because we wanted to stop feeling uncomfortable. All it does is come back in the end like, I knew it. And then you beat yourself like, man, I knew it. And so that was kind of the way we were sold. And even in recent times, it's just do this, man. It's okay. I know you don't feel comfortable. I know it's weird. I know it's counterintuitive, but just go ahead and do it, and everything will be okay. And the people are like, okay, I'm just believe it this one time, and then you go do it, and they're like, yeah, I know I do it for a little bit, but I just need you to do it a little bit longer. Don't get mad. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. Just do it a little bit longer, but this time add a little bit to it. And you're like, but okay. And then you go down, keep kicking the can down the road, and you look up and you're like, wait a minute, bruh. And they're like, yo, don't question me. You don't got no right to question me. You're like, whoa. Because why? You already just gave over your power, because this whole conversation, whether it be on a big scale or on a small scale, it's all about power, the exchange of power, the transfer of power, what people do when they can. So when we give up our power, wherever we are and whatever we're doing, when we abdicate our responsibilities to govern ourselves and do the things that we need to do, and we give it to other people, and let's just say it's like the children in the sandbox. Can I borrow your toy real quick? And then the other child's like, oh, I was kind of playing with it. I don't know. They'll be like, yo, let me just get it real quick. And you give them and they don't never give it back. No. You're like, wait a minute. You asked to borrow my toy for like 2 minutes. Now it's your toy. Human nature really doesn't change much. So back to the Hebrew Israelite community. One of the things I saw was some exposés going down. Apparently everybody's getting exposed. You know what I mean? The higher the monkey climbs, the more his butt is exposed. And the same people who lift you up is the same people who tear you down. The same people who want to come close to you is the same people who are going to reveal who you are. I mean, all of this is going on everywhere. But one of the things that I came across that I thought was weird and concerning, and it's not now, is the inclination to call everything witchcraft. Because we have two different sides of the spectrum. And then I'm gonna have to try to take you guys in the store if it don't break up. But if it does, then I'm just gonna get the major thoughts out. So there is and I've been through it, so I can speak a little bit to it. When we look out in the world, so for a lot of Hebrews at this space and time, a lot of what's happening is not surprising. It's what was to be expected, right? They've been waiting for this since Y2K, since everything. This is what's going to go down. We know what's going to go down. It's happening, right? You're seeing it happening right before your eyes. But in addition to what's happening on the outer world, there's an internal struggle, there's internal angst, and there's an infighting, just like in many other places, right? And one of the things that I saw in an attempt to expose one of the leaders, what's going on, Teresa? One of the leaders is that the way in which things are being conflated. So, for instance, you have an issue with a certain person, and that person may be dead wrong, right? So you have an issue with that person, and that person may say, you know what? It's a good idea to take your mask off every now and then and take some fresh air into your lungs. But because we have an issue with that person, everything that person says now has to be demonized. This is the way sometimes we the people think if we're not cognizant, right? That person has to be demonized. So you'll be like, yeah, and that person over there telling you to take fresh air, that's off. And you're like, what? Breathing is off now? But funny, but not funny. We live in a world where fresh air now is demonized. Breathing in your own carbon is what makes you virtuous, and breathing in fresh air makes you demonized. So it's funny, but it's not something, and it's the very slippery slope of adhering to groupthink, resting critical thought, allowing our emotions to blind us from right judgment. Sometimes we have to step back from the conversation. And I would just say this: the push for everything that's going on out there, and everything that's going on in here, it's difficult, I know, to kind of balance the two. But the push to now send everybody outside to hell and then everybody inside to hell, and then you're the only person who's not going to hell. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Y'all, maybe somebody could help me understand it. Peace, what's going on, Teresa? Maybe somebody else could understand it, but it's now like people are just only on their high places, and everybody everywhere is going to hell except for the person. I'm like, yo, Wody, what's going on? Has the world gone mad? That's what the song that came to my mind. And then I had to go back and look, and it was Beanie Man. There was a song back in the day, and they used to go, has the world gone mad? Has the world gone mad? I would have to say yes, the world has gone mad. The world is no longer getting oxygen to the brain, oxygen to the cells, oxygen to the body, right? The world is no longer allowed to think critically outside the box. Inside the box, something that's just really basic understanding. Here, where we are, the governor is like, yo, I'm not going to mandate for little children 5, 6, 7 years old to sit in masks all day. And now people are afraid of people. People are afraid of hugging their neighbor. So now we are disconnected from touch. And not only just amongst humans, but even amongst the animal kingdom, touch is very important. Not the other kind of touch that people was doing. I'm talking about exchange of human energy, touching in a loving way, not in a perverted off kind of way, which some people is not off for touch, but you get the point. So making people afraid to embrace one another is going to increase and has increased depression, has increased suicidal idealization. It has increased all of these things, paranoia, because now everybody's paranoid. Oh, don't talk to me, can I talk to you? Everybody's paranoid. You're suspecting everybody of everything. This is a very, very slippery slope. I'm going to take y'all inside now because I got to go get something real quick. This is a very, very slippery slope. Let me know your thoughts. So between everything is witchcraft to everybody is potentially going to be the end of you, to everybody's going to hell, to I'm like, yo, son, what y'all trying to do? Have the people have a mental break? Have the people have the mental break? And then I heard the demonization of mental health. Mental health does not have to be versus spirituality. Sometimes we think things are versus and they don't have to be. This is not a versus battle. I'm bringing y'all this out. Let me know if it's not a versus battle, y'all. Mental health does not have to be versus spirituality. When we are off spiritually, it affects the mind. Hence, you set mental health off. I'm looking for the key. I went the backside. Oh, my key gone. Hold on, peoples. Yo, I just had my key. I must have moved it. Hold on. Oh, my key gone. Okay, where are you? Oh, there it is. Like, yo, so where my key went? All right, we good. Good. My bad. Yeah, so mental health does not have to be versus spirituality, in my estimation, in my humble estimation. When we are spiritually off, it affects our mental health. When we do not have peace, that's anxiety. Where does anxiety reside? What are you anxious about? What causes anxiety? So the two are connected. When I heard the need to demonize one in order to aggrandize the other, I'm like, come on, that means we are missing something. We're lacking some type of understanding. Maybe I'll put this off so people don't be looking at me crazy. Hold on. Right? So yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. That's kind of crazy. Let me see if this is I used to do little videos taking out to the store, doing little healthy shopping thing. I haven't done that in a while. That used to be fun, peoples. Hold on. Can I still be heard? Hopefully I can still be heard. 1 2 1 2. Look like